In this tutorial, we're going to cover the expense screen. Let's start at the top, going through the expense ledger is the first link. The second one is the customer, and then the main menu. You can also use the application menu to go through and find whatever screen you're looking for. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering the following screens: the expense screen, the expense list view, the employee screen, and the employee list view. When you come into the expense screen, the first thing you're going to do is add a new record. Unless you're just editing, you would add a new record for the current month that you're working with. And for this case, I'm putting in February 6, 2016. There is a sum already in there, and there's no balances owed. The way that this works is you create a new field down here. And basically what you're doing is you're clicking in and adding the information for a date that you actually did the expense. Let's say it's the 3rd of February, for example. And you go ahead and say insert it. Okay. There we go. Now in the expense type, there's actually a screen that you can go to, and you can edit the types by adding a new record. Go to Do Menu, New Record, and then you can add something in here. And these are the kinds of expenses that you expect to have to pay on a monthly basis. And they could be any number of them you want. Once you put them in, do not delete them from this screen, because they're already in use and you would be deleting them in the actual record. So once you have them and you use them, do not delete them. Let's go back to expense. So what you do is you create the date. The next thing you would be doing is go ahead and putting in something. Let's say it's a banking fee, and maybe it's I'm buying checks. So I'd say bought. So I'm buying checks, and they're going to cost me $10. So that's the amount due. Now, if I paid it already, in this case, what happens, you see how it's changing up here, showing you have a balance due for the monthly payments. So you want to go ahead and put something in there. In this case, if you put less than the grand total, it'll still leave you a balance up here and continue to leave a balance and show you that you have your balance in here. Let's just go ahead and finish paying for it. Now we could obviously go to the next line, but that's not necessary. So we put in 10 and now it goes back to 0. Now on the end of the row, you have a thing here that you can say, is it taxable or not taxable? Basically what you're doing is you're taking things that you can deduct from your taxes and putting an indication in there that they are they're taxable or not taxable. And then if you want to go to the portal record for this particular portal, you can click on the icon at the end of the row and it'll take you to the portal record. If you need to, you can delete the record in the row for whatever reasons. Only delete row records in this screen. Do not do it in the actual portal itself, because it will not calculate correctly unless they're deleted in this area here. Let's go into the next one. This is the list view for the expenses. For each month that you have an expense, you're going to get the grand total, and you can go in here and say go to that particular one as far as the expenses are concerned to edit and view that particular screen, like we went back to this one. And let's go to the next thing. We're going to go to employees, which is quite similar to this, where you go to the employee screen. The difference is that you're putting in an employee with a new record, say new record, and create a new employee. Once you've created the record for the employee, then you can go to the list view later if you need to and pick whatever employee it is that you want to actually see in the list view and work on their record. In this case, we're going to show you that there'll be a number of records in here for each day that they work, that you schedule them to work. You can see the time that they worked and the amount of hours. And this is for especially good if you have exempt and part-time or volunteers in your business where they come in and work, but you want to keep track of their hours, and they also want to keep track of their hours when it comes to the information for taxes. And then you can put employee notes in here. If they're missing employment for one reason or other on a scheduled day, what was the trouble and why did they have a problem, and so forth. And you can say view the record. We're back into that particular employee. This is quite simple stuff. It's not hard, but it's essential to keep track of things that may affect your business and taxes. So if you have any questions on this particular set of screens, contact the developer at the developer website. Thank you.